There is a thin divide between what is perceived as spiritual and paranormal, for they are forever entwined throughout time. Traveling within the history of the world, we can find examples of spirituality that involves everything from magic, spirits, gods and goddesses, and seers or people said to be able to talk to the dead. We all have our belief systems and we all have our own truths. So come sit with Holly Jenkins and myself as we talk about all that and more. Welcome to Spiritually Paranormal. Hey everybody, I hope you're doing well. Holly's running a little behind today, and that's okay, no big deal. Today here in the U.S., tomorrow is actually, she's already in. She made it. Wow, that was quick. Look at your hair.
Well, I'm not. Hold on. Where's my?
Wow.
There we go.
I'm impressed. Wow. Like, I'm really impressed.
I'm not in.
I feel like I need to go to a hairdresser or something, man.
Well, I have this thing.
That's it. Oh my God, I got the gray, but that's it. Mine is so curly, it doesn't heck it wants. And I've got like thinning up here since I had COVID and all my surgeries and stuff. Wow, you look great.
Thank you. Well, considering I was just laying in the bed watching the movie with Robert because I didn't go to work today, I didn't have to. They let me know late last night that I didn't need to come in, and I was like, "Yay!" and so there's this thing that's been going viral on TikTok. Let me put some glasses on so I can see. And I'm like, I got one of those things somewhere, and my daughter got me this. Michaela got me this. Probably about 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And she told me it was a infrared hair dryer. It dries your hair with infrared instead of all that other heat. And so I used it like once or twice and never used it again. But on TikTok, it looks just exactly like this. And I'm like, I went looking everywhere in the attic yesterday for it and didn't find it. So I went up this morning. I went straight and opened one box, and there it was. It's a straightener. It's not. It's not. So this is what it did to my hair. This is how.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah.
I can't even run a comb through mine because it's so curly.
Mine is too. Mine's really curly too, but. Yeah, this thing right here, you just stick it through and do this, and it's just lovely.
Wow.
Anyway,
I have to get one of those for Taylor. Wow, that's awesome.
They are pretty awesome.
Yeah, I don't. Well, you know me, I don't fuss with that stuff. So while I was
made
myself a cup of cappuccino, and that's it.
Me and Robert had a nap, and most of my makeup was worn off, and when you messaged, I was like, "Oh shit!"
I'm glad I messaged. Hi, Cookie, Margaret, how are you? Who else is here? Cindy Pinkham is here. Everybody will start joining in as soon as we get moving here. Yeah, it's well, that's okay. After this, you can go back and nap again.
No, I had to hurry up and put some mascara on. I mean, I was very plain. My hair was done, but
I got one over on you, and that's rare. So
you should see me get up. I moved so quick, like, oh crap, I totally forgot. Oh, the holidays, right?
Yeah, well, we were going to talk a little bit about that today, actually, and I was actually very, very surprised. My daughter, who is everything about Christmas holiday season, and she's like so much so that it kind of just takes my energy away, and she's been like that every year. And like, she'll put a big tree up in their living room, and then they put trees in each of the other rooms of their house, and everything to the nines. Well, that's how I used to be when she was younger. That's how we used to do it. Well, then when she was away at college, of course, she'd come home on the holiday, but she was split between everywhere. So I kind of downsized a lot. And then I got to the point last year, I just didn't have the energy to put it up for one day when the kids were here for like a day and a half or so. And then half of that time was everywhere else. And then I'm stuck having to bag it all up again, you know? And
Right.
I'm like, no,
There for a while, I didn't put up a tree for a few years after,
30, she turned 30 this year. I talked to her this morning. She's, Mom, I just can't get into it. I said, what's the matter? What do you mean? She says, the holidays, I'm over it. And I'm like, who or am I talking to? It's too much. She says, people are just so nasty out in the world, and there's so much bad stuff going on in the world that, we really don't control, obviously.
Mm-mm.
And she says, it's just this feeling. And she says, I can't get motivated to do it. And she says, they went over to David's folks' house for Thanksgiving. I haven't celebrated Thanksgiving since 2008 when my mom passed.
Yeah.
And I don't, it's not a holiday. I don't care about it. It's
Right.
not because it's just me and her. So for Christmas, we decided when they were up here last time, I told them my mortgage just went up by $150 a month. I have lucky to get money to eat.
So let's go back to your mortgage for just a second. Just a second.
Mhm.
You have a fixed rate mortgage. The reason your mortgage goes up is because of taxes and insurance. You can't do anything about taxes, but you can shop for insurance. So, and a lot of times you can get it cheaper. So make sure you're looking for someone.
No, I did. And because we're in a small town, we know people. So I know him personally. So I know the things that I want. But that's okay. And I'm okay. Okay. It's not saying I'm panicked because I'm not. Matter of fact, something I had brought up to you the other day, I just had no fear of it. And next thing I know, social services was talking to me. And they're like, what are you talking about? I said, well, I don't know how I'm going to come up with this kind of cash. And we went to what it was. And they're saying, it's been paid. I'm like, what? And they're saying it's been paid. I go, by who? Not me. And nobody has my account number. Like, not me. She goes, she looked, she said, no, it's you're set till next month. And then it's back to a regular month. And I'm like, okay, thank you, Jesus, because that's what I put it up to put it up to Creator and Universe. I said, I don't feel bad about this, and it's gonna be taken care of. I don't know how. And then bam, we found out, and yay. So I'm not really, hi Joyce, I'm not really worried about stuff. But to hear my child, who is all about the magic of Christmas, say, I don't want to do Christmas this year.
Yeah.
And the general
It's tough
feeling.
for everybody. I mean, the cost of groceries, the cost of everything is so incredibly insane. Uh, Nobody really has the money this year to even think about it. And let me tell you, if it wasn't for TikTok Shop, I have bought 90% of what I got for Christmas this year. I'm done with my shopping. I don't have anything else. It's a very small list. Just basically the kids, and that's pretty much it. But everything has come off the TikTok Shop. There's incredible deals on there that's insane, where you can't even find it that cheap on Amazon.
Yeah,
So
hi Michelle, how are you? That's really good. But again, for me, and I mean that's good because you've got little ones, you've got your
yeah,
grandkids.
yeah.
That's a whole different ballgame. But when I look at it, it's like everybody I talk to is in that same place.
Oh
And I
yeah,
there's nothing wrong with wanting to spend time with your family. And my kids are, they're in their 30s, and their
yeah.
friends are my kids, and other kids pop up that are my kids. They grew up in my home, like all summer. They were never went anywhere but my house. And that's what's important to me. And so I knew as soon as they both agreed, because I talked to them separately, they both were like, I'm like, yeah, you don't owe me anything. Just spend time. When you come up to see grandma, because she's 87, that's important, right?
And you know me, I've always been about homemade gifts anyway.
Yep.
Most of the time, I'm only giving out things that I've made. I will do paintings, I will do stained glass, I will do some knitting, but at
I
least
did
this year for the boys, I was able to get some cool things pretty cheap.
Yeah. But last year I did that too. I made bowls and I really personalized them. Like Dave is really into Mardi Gras skeleton, Day of the Dead skeletons. So I've always gotten him something with that. So I actually made like a bowl, a food bowl, like you can eat dinner in. And I made another one the same size of that one for Taylor, and I put an elephant, Indonesian elephant in it because she collects elephants. She doesn't realize she collects them, but they're everywhere in her house. And she like, so, but I mean, those are personalized things. And the couple people that I have gotten for, again, it's not, it's like you, I've made them. And I look at my life, and I've done that many, many, many years since I've been really young. To me, that's just more.
You're putting yourself and you're putting your time into something to create something. You're making it very personal. It has so much more meaning than anything you could buy at the store.
Yeah, I'm not into it, and I don't need stuff. And that's, I was talking to a gal this morning. She's 82, and they used to live next door to my mom and dad, and they were my young set of parents, right?
Right.
They were the ones that took me everywhere, because my mom and dad that adopted me excuse me.
Bless you.
One more? No.
Bless you.
Thank you. They were in their 40s. So I went with these parents everywhere. They were like my young parents to camp with and fish with. And I learned to ride motorcycles, and I learned how to drink, all those things.
Yeah.
So she's 81 now, and I called her, and she says, I didn't get anything this year. I'm done. She says, they can have money. They'll get checks. They can go, because they go out and get what they want anyway, because they're all adults.
Yeah.
So the holiday is turned into, come together. Let's make food. Let's share games. Let's watch movies. Let's talk. Let's be with the family. And to me, it's kind of going back to the original place of what Thanksgiving should be.
Right. Just getting together, being together.
100%.
Yeah.
Just 100%. So you did a couple more books. We were going to show last week, and we didn't.
And they're on my desk at work because I planned on being at work to show them, and I don't have them here with me.
But that's okay, because if they're the ones you sent me, I have them. The first one is a children's book.
Yep. Santa's Lost List is so adorable, so cute, if I have to say so myself.
And where are they going to get it?
Amazon. You can read it for free if you have Kindle Unlimited, and you can read it on Kindle. You can buy it on Amazon as paperback if you go to the website. It shows you all the Kindle prices, which is $0, because you can read that for free on Kindle. But if you click on it, you can see the paperback is available as well.
It's very important. It has always been one of my most important things. Every year at the holiday, I get the kids a book, like an actual reading sit-down book.
Yeah.
Not on Kindle, not on whatever the other one is. No. I get them books. And I've done that all the time. And now, like the little kids, Taylor and Dave's godson, and I'm god grandma, just saw him this week. So freaking tall. But it's books. And any little ones that I have come in contact with, it's books. So I want them to hold those books, because everything is so techy.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
They're disconnecting from everything.
It's sad.
The magic of parents coming with their kids and opening that book and opening each page to see those illustrations and to read the story and let it come alive in their imagination. Yeah.
I just think it's a good way to balance. It's a very spiritual thing. If people really stop and think about it, you're pushing away all the materialistic things. Like I was saying to somebody, said to me, "Oh God, are you going to go out for Black Friday?" I says, "No."
Hell no.
I said, last time I did that was in 2006. We had a blast. We took 3 of the older kids. My daughter was one. We took 3 of the older kids, and there were 2 adults. 2 of us went, and we hit a
nightmare.
Store. No, it really wasn't. We gave them they all had lists that they had to go and hit for the little ones, right? And they all took their lists and ran. I stayed in line because the lines were horrendous, right? And we all had walkie-talkies. so they could go back and forth with each other. They knew where I was, and they'd come running up and they'd dump the stuff in the cart, and off they'd go again. And then I think we went to like 3 stores that year. It was crazy, but it was fun because the kids were like 13, you know. And then after that, we took them to breakfast at a all night, like a Denny's, you know, they call them here up here 24-hour place. And we took them for breakfast, and then we went home, and it was like fun. Now, not so much.
Now my sound is gone. Somebody tried to call me and it got rid of my sound.
I can hear you. I can
barely hear you. I'm going to go out and come right back.
Okay, no problem. So yeah, you know, it's that important thing that we share with everybody, that we share who we are.
That's better.
There you go. Yeah, but to me, that's a spiritual connection for people, because it's getting back to what we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be, you know, with people. We're supposed to be interacting positively with people. And the other question that has come up is, well, all this is going on, but what the heck can I do about it? Well, what I feel we can do about it is we don't worry about everything way that we can't, and we imprint on our circle and then a little bit around our circle, and that ripples out. So eventually, if you do it, I do it, and they do it, it can come together and create something really nice.
Right, exactly.
So much turmoil. Just so much turmoil. Okay, wait, I forgot. We got another book. Here's the other book. This is the second one.
The Fire Within. This is a journal that has the best practices for letting go, and there's prompts throughout, questions and prompts throughout the whole book about what should I be letting go of, how can I heal that old pain and trauma, all of those things throughout the whole thing.
And that's also available on Amazon. If you guys have a problem finding it, just get hold of Holly.
Oh, I got my new cards yesterday as well. So, I mean, yeah, look at these. See what you think. I don't know if it's going to be backwards or not on the screen, but look.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Oh, I like that.
Old worldy looking.
No, it doesn't look backwards. It's fine.
Oh, was it? Okay, good.
Yeah, no, that looks really cool.
HLJenkins.com. Like I said, when you go on there, it'll look like it's just the Kindle books. But when you click on a title you're interested in, it gives you all the different versions it's available in.
I am technically challenged this month because everything. Oh, that was the other big thing. As I said, technically challenged, which the world is technically challenged right now, because there's a lot of hacking and all that stuff. Taylor and I just found out, now mind you, she's 3 hours south of me, that McLaren hospital centers, like they're all over Michigan. I don't know if they're in the other states. Henry Ford just bought everybody out, but they haven't changed their name yet. But they had a data breach.
Oh, God.
All our information.
And this is the worst time of year for scammers. There's so many people out there, and it's horrible to think that they utilize the holidays to take advantage of people that don't have any more sense or don't know that they're being scammed. Don't click on any links in your emails. If they make
it's me and I'm sending it to you.
The things that say it looks like it's coming from Amazon, or it looks like it's coming from your bank, it looks like it's coming from websites that you trust, don't trust it. Don't trust those emails. Go to those actual websites and figure it out from there. You don't click on any link in any email ever.
The credit union up here last month in October sent me notice that they were breached, and all our personal data was out there. So now the hospital system was breached. All our personal information is out there. And Taylor called me about it yesterday, and she was hot. And she says, I can't believe it. She goes, and they had 3 months ago, her and David both had their social security numbers hacked, and people were able to take money out of Dave's bank account, like almost $2,000. So he had to work with the bank to get that fixed, because they're like, well, it looks like you know what I mean? So he had to file a bunch of stuff to get that all cleaned up. And now all of us have to look again and make sure you guys check the credit bureaus and everything, because Taylor has had people trying to open credit cards under her name and that kind of crazy stuff. And I don't know. That gives me a reason as of why people are feeling the way they are. It's because there's so many hurdles and jumps that everybody that's good and just wants to go about and live their lives, and they're not being allowed to.
It's like you're being attacked from all directions.
Yep.
You know, they get you at the grocery store, they get you at the gas pump, they get you with your taxes, they get you with everything.
Well, my friend Penny said the other day, I think it was last week, she put it up again, one of my favorite new words, and I think it needs to be added to the dictionary, peoply. She said she went out to Publix to get
two peoply.
She said she got back in her car with the dog and turned around and went home. It's too peoply.
I feel that. I resonate with that deeply. I say that all the time.
Yep, I like that word a lot.
Yeah, too peoply. Gotta go.
I don't know. I don't. Some days I just like get up and I almost allow it, but then I realize it's other people telling me how I should be feeling. Like when I told you the social worker called me and said some things, not nasty, she was just clarifying positions, and I was like, yeah, well, you know, that didn't really do much for me and didn't make me feel great. But then I just stepped back and I said, I'm just letting the universe take care of it. I'm letting God, creator, and whoever's in spirit take care of it, because I know it'll be taken care of, and I'm not adding fear to stuff. And because I'm not, and I'm putting it out, I'm okay. I got a roof over my head. My utilities are all paid. My bills are paid. I have food in the fridge. And actually, the birds eat better than I do. So it's like, you know, everybody's happy. And it's like, that's okay. And I don't need people judging because they think, you know, would I like to have money to help everybody? Absolutely, I would.
Right.
I would do it. But it's just the circumstances I'm in, and that's okay. I'm okay with it. So I don't know. It's just a lot, and
it is a lot.
A lot of people are alone for the holidays. I'm alone, but I don't have a problem with it because I don't. Oh, I got hiccups now. Celebrate Thanksgiving,
right?
And everybody's like, "Oh, well, we don't want you to be alone. We don't want." Please, I don't want to go to a house with.
Yeah, like leave me alone. I'm in my own little heaven, so don't bother me. Don't make it too peoply.
Did you see the swans that I had?
I did. Those are fabulous.
Oh man, I counted 49. Then they weren't there the next day, and then the following day they were back, and they were all back, and they trumpet. I guess that's why they call them trumpeters. It's a different sound than the mute swans. I have the ones; those are orange beak, but I've never seen this many on this lake. And I said, Taylor goes, holy crap. I said, oh, yeah. And they didn't care I was out there at all. No problem. I was out there. Them things are massive.
They look huge.
Massive. Oh, they would hurt me if they their neck, they'd be at the top of my head. They're massive.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's amazing.
And
I'm glad you actually got video.
While they were fighting, I was in the house and I heard this noise and I was like, what the heck? And it sounded like a cat that would be hurt. You know, you know how they do. Not when they're fighting, but it sounded like an animal in distress. And I looked at her, Moo, what happened? But she was not out. She was sleeping. And I'm like, what the heck is that? And I went to the front room and I was like, oh my God. And they were everywhere, but two males were going at it. So that's why I stepped out on the porch and I took the video of all of them. And then I kind of had a little bit of them going after each other. But when I shut that video off and they started up again, I said, y'all need to quit. Get along with each other. Stop. And it was so funny because they stopped and they all turned their head and looked at me all at the same time. And I was like, ooh, if this was a scary movie, I'd probably be at my spots right now. But they stopped bickering, and then it was just because there were a lot of pairs and a lot of their
Yeah.
young there. But what a blessing. I mean, just absolutely what a blessing that was. So, people, you need to look in your lives, I think, a little closer, especially if you're feeling a little down, and count your blessings, because I
Oh
think
yeah.
we have a lot of them.
It's all about mindset. If you have a negative mindset, it's you against the world, and nothing ever goes right. You're so unlucky, and everything is terrible. Then that's all you're going to find is the terrible in the world, and the terrible in your own life, and the terrible within yourself. And that's going to take you down into this deep dark pit of nothing.
Yep.
And you have to purposely set your mind to something positive. What's the best that can happen? Not what's the worst that can happen. What's the best that can happen? And
Right.
just keep that in mind all day long. And I tell the universe all day, show me your best. Show me your best. There's got to be something good there. Show me your best.
Well, I asked that the other night, and Elf came up on the TV screen. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh wow, I haven't watched that in years." And I watched it and laughed my butt off because I knew the general plot, but not like, so it was like watching it new again.
Yeah.
And I don't watch a whole lot of TV, but when I do, I don't want the negative stuff. Like, I'm really
Mm-mm.
excited tonight because what's her name? I can't remember her name. Jen McCarthy, she's in a movie. I think it's on Peacock. Just came out today. If it's the 22nd, yeah, it's available today. And she's a genie.
Yeah. I saw a preview of that on TikTok.
I can't wait to watch it. It's fun. It's nonsense, but it's good fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know. The other day I sat and I just shut everything off and I just put the radio on.
Yeah.
Just put the radio on.
That's what you have to do. Don't watch the news.
No.
Because then you're falling into their narrative. You're believing the story they want you to believe, and there's a whole lot more to it than what is told. And usually, what is told is the majority of it is lies anyway. So don't listen to the news. Don't listen.
I don't.
They have an agenda. They have a narrative, and they want you to believe it.
Look who came in.
I see Rellin finally.
Yeah, like, wow. Okay. Yeah, they all have agendas. You're right. And one of the
Where's Ruth?
I don't know. I haven't seen her in a couple days, actually.
Oh, the nerve. How can she just leave us like this?
I don't know. She's hiding.
She's going to get a foot up her butt.
People have been kind of one side or the other with what's going on in the Middle East. And my thing is, neither side is right. They've both done horrific things. What started it was just war crime, awful, horrendous thing. And it's kind of rolled. And my thing is, I don't stand for either side because either side is just as bad as the other. And I'm sorry if that offends people. But
it's like, why can't people just leave each other alone? Stay in your own lane, stay in your own zone, and make it a better zone if you don't like it.
But the only ones that are getting hurt are the people that just want to live their life.
The people that have nothing to do with it.
And they have everything to lose because this is where their families are. And I did put it on. I always put news on once in the beginning of the week and once the last part of the week just to check what's going on. And last night, I hadn't watched it in 2 days, and I put it on because there was some stuff I wanted to kind of follow up on. And they were doing a story about all the kids that were in the hospital that got bombed over there. And they were talking with them, and the translator was translating. Some of them lost arms. I mean, these are young kids, like 10, 11-year-olds.
Terrible.
But it is. But what struck me was each one of those kids had smiles on their faces. They said yes. The one boy, he had lost his leg from the knee below. The other one had lost his whole arm. It had been amputated from the shoulder, but he still had this one. They were so positive, like, I'll be okay.
Right.
get through this. I'll be okay. They won't take who I am away. And I'm thinking how brave those young people are. They're the ones people need to listen to right
Oh
there.
yeah. Yeah,
Right.
100%.
It's just crazy. Oh, okay. So change the subject. Give me something good.
Something good, something good. Oh, did you see that 103-year-old basement I was in yesterday?
No.
So, we have a house listed that's 103 years old just down the street from my office. And the person that was supposed to be there, a designer was there and taking measurements for the new, owners and everything before they move in. And there was a termite inspector that showed up. I had to go and turn off all the lights after they left and be there while they were there. And so there was a noise coming from the basement. And I looked down at the basement and it's all old rock. And I'm like, I'm not going down there in that basement. But I went down anyway because hello, the inspector went down first. I ain't no dummy. And I followed him down. And it was a really cool, huge old basement. You can see like there's whole trees down there as part of the foundation and all these rocks stacked, and it was amazing. And the previous owner had carved into one of the doors Cave de Mosley. And I was like, wow.
Wow.
But I went back at the tax record and look at the original owners that had the house back in the 1920. And the lady was born in Nashville, but the husband was born in Ukraine. And their families, his whole family was from Ukraine, but her whole family, even though she was born in Nashville, was from, you remember where she was from? The lady. Germany. Germany. So they were all German and Ukraine that had the house originally. It's huge. It's massive.
That makes sense. My dad's parents and my dad, he came through France when he was 7, but his dad they were from Belgium, and the men had to come here first and be here and set up residence here and have a full-time job here, had to prove that they could do that.
Yeah.
And then they were allowed to get their family, and they were from Belgium, and they came in. That's how they came in. So I'm not surprised at all that area, I mean, Germany, that was a lot of immigrants coming in.
Yeah, it was just really nice to go back and follow that trail of the people that lived there before. And I was thinking about all the stories those walls could tell because it was just such an the original wood floors were in the house and everything, plaster walls like would have been back then. They hadn't changed anything. I mean, it had updated cabinets and floor, not flooring. The floors were original, but countertops and stuff like that, all that was really great. But the original floors were there and that basement hadn't been touched.
You should go in and put your hands down on it and take a REM pod down there and start asking questions.
Nope.
I'd go with you.
Nope.
Oh, yeah, I'd go in there.
It was big. It was huge. It was nice.
Well, on a paranormal level, I would really want to go down there and check it out. But I've also, and I don't know if you've been hearing this, and I don't know if any of you that are listening right now or watching this have heard of this recently. All of a sudden, I'm getting an uptick from people having things happening in their house.
Oh, Lord, you keep that at your house. Don't send it to me.
People moving things, like they'll set something down, they'll turn around and do something, turn back around, and it's not there. Kind of like what I had before with the cupboards open and then my pans missing and that kind of stuff. Well, I had some more stuff do that to me yesterday and this morning.
Oh,
and it was smaller objects, but I'm like, I know I said it. Where the heck is it? Couldn't find it anywhere. And then I had somebody that called me today and said, I don't know what's going on, but this is really weird and kind of freaking me out. I think I'm losing my marbles. I think I'm nuts. And I'm like, what? And she went in and she put her makeup on and she pulled a dress out of the closet because they were going to travel somewhere to have Thanksgiving with their kid. And she turned back around and the dress was gone and the makeup was gone. And she's like, what what the heck? Did I throw it in the trash? So she pulled the trash up. Nope, wasn't in the trash. She walked out. She asked her husband, did I bring my dress out here? He said, no. And he's sitting there, no. And she goes, are you sure? Are you pulling my leg and you grabbed it? No. No. No idea where it went. No idea where the makeup went. Can't find it. And it was just in her room. Then I had somebody else that I talked to, again, older people. And they told me like stuff that was going on at their place.
Hold on just a second. I'm going off camera for a second, but I'm right here. I'll be right back.
Yeah, that's fine. But I just think that our spirit families, our families and our people that we have walked with and before us, you know, when we were younger, and the people that are on the other side, I really feel that more of them are kind of reaching out to reassure us in these kind of harrowed times, right? Like, I think back, and I know my grandparents went through World War I, World War II. My dad went through the Korean War, and we were with Vietnam War. So we had all this negative stuff going on, and we all made it through. You know, the Depression, which was really bad, you know, bootlegging, crime, all that kind of stuff that was going on. And I just think that the people in spirit are kind of tapping us on the shoulder to say, you'll get through it. We did, you'll get through it. And I really think it's kind of their way just to kind of tease people and let them know we're going to be okay.
Yeah, you're not alone. Definitely not alone. Oh my goodness. That was like yesterday. I went all through the whole attic. I went through my closet. I was on a ladder in my closet. I was looking all through my room. Couldn't find it. I went upstairs, opened one box, sitting right there on top.
I can't tell you. I can't tell you. I've been working. I've been working on a new painting that I'm trying to channel, but I'm kind of fighting with them again. And so I had to put it down for a little bit because I've got to take myself out of it. And I went to grab an oil tube, and I was like, okay, I haven't moved here. I just put some on the pallet. Now, where did it go? It was in the front room. I didn't find it till later that night. It was in the front room. I didn't go in the front room.
Like, how to get there?
They were stopping me because it's what I wanted to do. It's not about what I want to do.
No.
So here she's got some stuff going
it's too. About what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, you got shadow people and stuff. You know, I always laugh.
Now, I tell you what, I have been seeing for the past probably 2 months, at least 2 months, I've been seeing a lot more, not just shadow people, but a lot more spirits hanging around. At work, everywhere.
Well, and I still say, you know, shadow people, I think, have gotten a bad rap. We talked about that before here. I think because of the entertainment world, you know, they're perceived as evil or bad. I don't feel that. I mean, it can be. I'm not saying it can't be sometimes, but I feel more like it's our loved ones trying to manifest to say, hey, I'm here and I haven't left you, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think there's been an uptick, but I think there's been an uptick basically because how crappy the world is right now.
Yep. Watching spill water all over me.
That's all right. I do that all the time. All the time. I was trying to feed him this morning. He got mad and he grabbed one end of the water bowl. I said, just give it to me so I can get you fresh water. Nope. He was pulling back and forth with it all over me. So at least, you know, you don't have a little.
Where are those videos?
Well, he won't. I put video up today. I finally caught him dancing a little bit. I had Frank Sinatra on and I walked in and he just started going. Every time I show him the camera or the phone, he stops. He won't talk.
That's like Ghost. Ghost does that. Where is that dog? Ghost. He'll be around.
I just, and the other ones aren't like that. Mango will get right up in your face because he wants to be seen and he wants to be heard. He doesn't have a problem with it. Neither does Pip. Pip will land on it. She doesn't care. Not him. He sees it and just shuts up. So I was grateful I even got him dancing today.
Ghost. Make it sound like I have food. That gets him.
Oh wow!
Come here,
What a
buddy.
beauty! What a beauty! Oh,
Say hello.
he
Get over
looks like
here.
a wolf.
He does.
Is he a Malamute?
No, he's a husky.
Really? He looks more
Yep.
Malamute.
No, he's a husky. Come here,
He's a
Ghosty.
big boy.
Come on. Up, up, up.
You know, not feeling it, Mom. Not feeling it, Grammy.
He's like, that's the camera. I don't want that. I want a treat. A treat.
No.
Up, up. He's like, what is it first? It's salt.
Oh, Cindy, yeah, I actually have
He's a good boy.
that app that Sean and
Yeah,
Bex
good
put out.
boy.
I was finally actually able to download
Oh,
it to the
yeah.
new phone. It wouldn't let me download it to my last phone, but yeah, it is kind of creepy. I didn't put it on. Oh, there he is! Look at the baby.
Let your
Oh,
baby go. Say hello to everybody. Say hey. You
he's
know what?
big.
He's like, where's my treat?
How
He's
big
big.
is he?
He's
Like
big.
80, 90?
Probably.
Yeah, my brother used to have them. He would adopt huskies and malamutes. All his like adult life, he did. He always had like 2 or 3 of them. I mean, that's how he died. Was walking one of those dogs. He just dropped dead. So he was doing what he loved to do, right? But that's
Yeah.
how those dogs. I just, they're so hyper.
He's not. He
Really?
really isn't. Now his buddy, his best friend forever, lives across the street, Homer, and they have play dates almost every day.
Oh, that's
And
good.
they wear each other out, and he'll come home and he'll just lay on the floor like, oh my god, I can't move, I'm exhausted. But he is like real chilled out.
Good.
He doesn't act crazy except when he's with Homer.
Yeah, see, my brother's dog, the Malamutes were chill, but the Huskies weren't. And his Huskies would, he lived on a lake, a small lake downstate, almost near Taylor, but it was kind of a more rural area than city.
Yeah.
And they learned how to get out of the house, even though they put like baby gates up, they just jump
Oh,
over
he's smart. He had to.
the door.
Michaela had to get this big, giant, heavy duty cage to keep him in.
Yep. Well, my brothers would take off, and they knew where the pet shop was, 6, 7 blocks away from them.
Yeah.
That's where they would go. They'd run to the pet shop. They knew how to stand on the thing to open the door, and they'd go and they'd sit in front of the registers where the cashiers were.
To get
And they have
treats.
my brother's number, and they go, they're here again. So my brother was like, geez. Well, of course they're going to give them treats because everybody thinks, oh, this is so cute, and they can find, animals
Yeah.
are smart. Animals are,
They are.
they're smart. I was looking for him. I was doing stuff on the computer and I needed to upload some stuff and was doing all this stuff, and I thought, oh, it got really quiet. And I looked at her, she was fine. Looked at him, he was fine, and I'm like, oh my god, where did he go? So I followed him, and I got up, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, he's not here, because usually if he's under the bed, he'll just walk out from under the bed, and I'm like, oh god, where did you go now? And he's a toddler, you have to keep your eyes on him. I got up, and I'm calling him, I'm walking around the house. Mulan could care less. She just looked at me and went back to sleep, and I walked in here, and here he was sitting under my chair. He just wanted to be next to me. He was in my chair the whole time, just on the bottom of the chair. And I said, what are you doing? And he made a noise. He peeped or whatever they do. And I'm like, crap, you got to always watch him. So, yeah, he's knocking on the door now.
He's an escape artist. If he can escape, like he has chewed his lead in half, I don't know, 2 or 3 times to get out of that. You got to watch him.
Well,
Because he just wants to run outside. He just wants to run and go see his best friend.
People don't realize sometimes, I mean, you get it, I get it, but a lot of people don't understand how smart animals are. Even animals outside, even the wild animals. And I mean, just like the swans, they're used to me. The eagles that come around, they're used to me. They know I'm not a threat. But you can learn so much from them.
Yeah.
I'm never not amazed. I'm never
Yeah.
not amazed, you know. And yeah, it's a great. I live in a great place. I really do. I'm very blessed. I don't think I could ever live in the city again. It's just
Mm-mm,
too much.
no, me
Too much.
either. Too peoply.
There you go. Two people.
Definitely too peoply.
I am not. Oh, she can get them. I'm not doing that. I could do that for him, but no. She said Raylan said get a treadmill and a harness and put him on that.
We have a treadmill, but he if we're on the rebounder though, the little trampoline, he wants to be on there with you, jumping up and down. It's not big enough. It's only big enough for one person, but he wants to be on top of you. I
That's
want to
good.
jump. I want to jump. I want to
Yeah,
jump.
yeah. Do the boys get up there with him?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. That's not something I would do either. So
yeah,
ah, we still have leaves on our trees up here, so nature is not ready to go.
yeah. We do too. We don't. Not all of them. They're starting to lose, but we still have quite a few leaves on many trees.
Yeah, I
The
don't know what.
late fall this year.
Yeah, it actually got really warm the other day, and then it went back to really, really cold.
Well, it's been warm here, and now today it's actually a little bit cool today.
So, what are your plans for Thanksgiving?
I'm going to be making some potato salad and deviled eggs. Michaela's making the mac and cheese. We're going to do a small turkey, probably just do a turkey breast and a ham and some green beans and, of course, dressing, gravy. I think that's it. And we have apple pie for dessert.
Homemade?
No, not this year. But there is, I saw a recipe on TikTok I'm dying to do. It's an apple cake, but it's like the apples are sliced as thin as like potato chips,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just stacked and layered in with the batter. And oh my gosh, it looks so amazing. I want to make that so bad.
Yeah, you sent that over. Taylor came up. It's been 3 weeks. It'll be no, 2 weekends ago, and her and her best friend went over to my mother-in-law's house, and she taught them this is what cracks me up. She's blind, okay, legally blind. She can see shadows. That's about it. So her food, she basically, we take food over there. There's all kinds of people because we are a small community, and she's done so much for so many over the years. They give back, okay. So we went over there, and she was teaching the girls how to make a pie crust and an apple pie. Just and they Taylor and the girl Evie got apples. They got greens and Macintosh.
Thanksgiving is tomorrow, not
Yeah,
yesterday.
yeah. And well, there it's over in the UK. So anyway, she's this little 87-year-old. She's like maybe 4'8". I mean, that's how much she's shrunk. She comes up to here on me, and I'm short. And she's in there, and she's telling the girls what they have to do. And yeah, put that in the refrigerator. We need to let that water and vinegar or whatever the heck it was she had in there. She said it needs to sit in the fridge for at least 10 minutes. So they put it in. 2 minutes later, she's like, oh, it should be ready by now. And they're like, no, it hasn't been 10, 15 minutes. It's okay. It's cold, And so she goes and gets it. So they're made this stuff, right? And she's showing them. And they're like, wow, these are a lot of apples. Okay, she'll be back. There's a lot of apples in here, right? And here's my mom, my mother-in-law, and she's sitting there. She picks up a paring knife, grabs an apple. And she gave them these knives that were like this long. I go, don't you have paring knives or small knives? And she's like, I don't know, they're somewhere because she can't see, right? So I went over to dig in the drawer. She picks this knife up that was like this long. She did 4 apples, peeled, cored, and sliced in like 2 minutes. And we all just stood there looking at each other. I go, well, you two are a sorry couple pair. And they said, why? I go, she just did all those, and you haven't even finished one. She's like, Grandma, you're going to cut yourself. Nah, I can feel it. I can see it. I'm okay. And boom, boom, boom. They made 2 beautiful apple pies. They were really good. But now they know how to make pie.
Right.
So mine's coming up next month. Mine will be in December because she said they were talking about pumpkin pies. I do not like pumpkin.
Me neither.
However, I do like pumpkin cheesecake. And I learned how to make it when I was downtown Detroit working with the restaurants, right? And the bakers would come in, and it's a kind of a swirl. You swirl it in there, and then you put fresh pumpkin whipped cream on it. I'll eat that all day.
I was just watching someone make blueberry cinnamon rolls.
Mm-hmm.
And it was basically, it looked like cinnamon rolls. They made it like cinnamon rolls, but it wasn't cinnamon. It was blueberry. Oh
Instead of
my God.
raisins,
I
yeah.
want to go to the grocery store now so bad. I'm like, I need some blueberries. I need some pastry. I need it right now.
These are the months that we will be putting on weight for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Let me tell you, food side of TikTok is freaking awesome. You go over there and we've gotten so many recipes off of TikTok, and every time we try any of them, I don't think we've ever tried one that didn't turn out well. They're, oh my God. Ugh.
Easy, easy, good.
Easy and so good. Oh my gosh. One of the things was these garlic steak bites. You just take a steak and chop it up into little bites, and you put it in a crock pot with garlic and butter, and that's it, nothing else. And just let that cook all day long, and it just melts in your mouth. Melts in your mouth. Oh my God. So
Yeah,
easy.
I like my beef rare, like
Mhm.
really rare,
Blech,
like crawling.
blech, blech,
My
blech,
my point my point is
blech.
you make it like shoe leather. It's like somebody at the restaurant.
No, this melts in your mouth.
No,
It is not overcooked. It was so amazing.
we'd have a person order prime rib, right? And prime rib is always served. That's what it is. It's
Yeah,
either rare or medium rare. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
She didn't want it rare. She wanted it well done. Okay.
Mhm.
So we went back to the kitchen, and I was supervising that night, and the chef said, "Why the f did she order prime rib if she wanted something?" So she sent it back, and he put it on the
But
fryer,
people just don't know. They don't really know.
and then he took it back out, and she said it was still not done enough. That was like so insulting to our chef. And I walked it back, and I was like, maybe I should just turn around and take it back because I was managing the floor. And he said, "She wants it well done. I'll give it to her well done." Man, that thing was so crusty. She loved it. And I'm like, no, that's not.
Well, if that's what she wanted, that's what she wanted. Like the other day on a Sunday, another thing I'd seen on TikTok, you take puff pastry, lay a sheet down, a row of cheese, and then a row of ham, and then another puff pastry on top. Cut it in these thin little strips, and then you fold them to look like little Christmas trees and run a skewer through them and bake them. Oh my God, they were so good. Light and fluffy little
Oh, yeah. Well, they're
ham and
like
cheese sandwiches.
but with using instead of crescent rolls or not.
Puff pastry.
Yeah, you use puff pastry in there to do it. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Okay, I have something on the paranormal side. I found something new. Woo, to look into.
Ooh.
I had been resisting it for 3 years. It's been on. It's just started the 4th season, and it's called Blind Frog Ranch. It's out by the Skinwalker Ranch in the Utah Basin. They're
Yeah.
actually butt to each other. What they're finding there, well, they've had some stuff happen that they've caught on film, which was kind of really spooky, kind of made the hair raise up on me. They literally saw a man on they had cameras set outside because they were having security issues. There was this guy that showed up on the property, and he was seizing, but he was standing, and he was contorting in a way that wasn't a seizure.
No,
And
no,
one of the Indian
no.
guys, one of the Native American guys that was there, one of the Indians, he says that's a spirit. That's a skinwalker. That's exactly what they do. And they were talking to people. Okay, so you go back to the Utah Basin, and what they're looking for, and they've kind of sort of found the area, is the Aztecs, which I love archaeology and I love history. The Aztecs, the Spanish came, met them, went back to Spain, gathered a big army, brought the army back to where the Aztecs were and basically slaughtered the Aztecs and took all their gold, right?
Right.
Well, Montezuma was the Aztec king at that time, which, if y'all want to know why, Montezuma's revenge is there's an actual reason for that. And what he did before the Spanish got here was he had his brother move all their valuables, all their gold, everything up, and there's signs that it's in the Utah basin. So they've been digging and they've been finding Aztec cave drawings and, just different things like that. And then things have been happening, like we were saying about how things disappear or they won't run properly.
Right.
Or it's like, what's this? And the one guy, he said, I can tell you as a scientist, the only time I've ever witnessed this, it's a black hole. And it was down deep underground. It was a literal black hole. It was an empty space and mass, and it was a black hole.
See, there are certain things you just should not mess with. They don't need to be investigated, okay?
Well, I agree with it to a point, but it really fascinates me because I want to see what the Aztecs.
It's fascinating as long as someone else is doing the investigating.
Well, last week they went down.
There he goes. Bye, George.
They went down into the mine and they found an entrance area, so they got it cleared. They dug it out, and it went into this huge cave system that leads back to where this other place is where they found stuff, but it's all underwater because the river runs through there, right? They went down there and it was dry, but they had to go down in hazmat suits because there was gas down there because it was all closed, right? For so many years, hundreds of years. So they put it on, they got down there. They were only going to be able to stay 20 minutes. They were blowing air to them into their hazmat suits and masks and stuff. They had gloves on everything. All of a sudden, they walked into, what are you doing? They walked into another area where the gas, the kind of gas it was eating through the suits. So they had to turn around and hurry up and get out. But while they were down there, they found all these cave drawings. So it was like, how did they do all this like hundreds of years ago?
Well, the gas wasn't down there then. It was different then.
No, but the caves, carving out the caves, like they're like chiseled out of solid granite.
I was telling Robert yesterday or the day before, I don't remember what day is, one of these days past, about how I fully believe that this planet has had all kinds of technology that has come and gone and just disappeared because there are just too many things that can't be explained. And I fully believe there's been a lot of technology that is well beyond our technology today.
I also think that the government has knowledge of some of it.
Oh, yeah, a lot of it. And
it's just they don't want to let it out. But yeah, I agree 100%. When you look back, even in Egypt, they're like, oh, yeah, well, we figured it out. The Nile River shifted over all these years. So before, it was closer to where the pyramids were built. And I'm like, okay, sure. So how did they get those big rocks out of the quarry? Well, they rolled them down and then they put them on rafts. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, are you actually trying to sell me this? Like,
yeah, they're trying to sell you that narrative. That's the story they're trying to sell you. Yep.
You're going to float down the Nile River, these huge granite stones that are bigger than my house. Yeah, no.
That's like the Appalachian Mountains go up. They go all the way over into Wales.
Answer me this. Why do you feel that in the United States, I mean, and there's other places in other countries, but why in the United States are the Appalachian Mountains, out in Oregon and Washington State, out in Alaska, and going up into Northern America where Canada is, like in Manitoba, why do you think by 2023, nobody's investigated those places?
Right. Nobody's looking into them.
Why would that be? Like maybe
they're scared? Well, I don't think they're scared. I just don't think they want to bring attention to it.
Well, I don't know. Some of the stuff, I believe the people that have seen stuff there, I mean, because they're not going to get on TV or radio or in the newspaper to make fools out of themselves.
Mm-mm.
I think people have seen things there and they can't explain them.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I'd want to go look. Well, physically, I couldn't do it.
I know
now.
I've seen things I can't explain.
Yeah. I physically couldn't do it now. In my 30s and 20s, I probably could have. And I probably would have. I wouldn't have a problem if somebody says you want to do it because I was camping outside and all that. Now I can't physically do it.
Yeah, I don't want to do it. I don't want to camp outside.
But they got these people in Alaska because it's the Bigfoot thing.
Yep.
And they're in the really remote areas, like where the mountains are, that nothing is there, no footprints, no nothing. They're finding clothes from people with bones in them that were ripped apart, not like a bear because the marrow was taken out of them. And there's a female, she's a doctor of she studies apes and primates. Amazing woman. She's got bigger kahunas than the guys on this thing. And the other guy is a survivalist, but he was also in the military. He's really good at tracking and what he does. And then another guy comes in and he's like a Bigfoot. He's been looking for it for all his life. They're walking through these woods that are pitch dark because this is the time that these creatures move. No guns, no bear spray, no nothing but cameras and a camera guy behind each one of them that's doing the same thing, survivalist stuff. Hearing and seeing these creatures on heat flares, right? Like, I mean, they're huge. See where they are, go over there, and you see scratch marks way above where a bear could put them in.
Nope.
And they're walking around like and then they ask the locals, and the locals say, "We ain't going in there." Mm-mm. My dad, my uncle did, and they lost 3 days. Didn't know how the heck they got where they were, and they were covered in blood and all this other stuff, and nobody goes in there anymore. They don't even want to talk about it.
Nope.
So it's interesting for me, this kind of blend of, people are getting tapped by our family and friends that are in spirit, like they're coming through, and more people, maybe because of the pandemic, maybe because we were isolated for so long.
Well, I think it's all because we are in the Great Awakening.
Absolutely.
We are right smack dab in the middle of this Great Awakening. And I mean, as a spirit, we chose to be here to witness this at this moment. And there are other spirits that they want to join the party too. They want to watch and see what's going on as well. So, yeah.
I do. I think that's why more people are seeing and feeling and hearing. And I think that more of these, not because of TV, but I mean, because if I look at them honestly, they've really got science people out there trying to figure it out. I mean, Skinwalker Ranch has, he's the guy that's working with them. He's an astrophysicist. So everything has purpose, reason, how it works. He's worked for NASA. He's worked with the federal defense, American defense place and stuff. So to me, and they're finding more out. So I think that, I think that's what's going on, just what you said. And I think they're beginning to have all of us kind of open up to see that, and be able to see it. Well, we've talked for an hour already. So, y'all, happy holidays to you for those that are celebrating.
Happy Thanksgiving and happy whatever. Whatever you want to do on your day is perfectly fine. Everybody's good.
Yep. Everybody have a blessed day. And until next time, and I love you, sister. I'll talk to you later. Have a great holiday. Give hugs to the dogs for me and the grandkids and everybody else. Tell Michaela I said hi. And until next week, guys. Later. Bye.
Later.